My parents said, "Family helps family, so sign the house over." I said, "Family also hears no." 3 days later, my dad brought a notary to my porch, my mom cried on camera, and my brother texted that I was destroying the family. I sent everyone the same screenshot. Original post: I'm Ava, 33, and I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. My parents, Linda and Kevin, are 60 and 62. My younger brother Caleb is 29. I love my family, but love and access are not the same thing. That is the sentence I wish I had learned 10 years earlier. For most of my life, I was the reliable one. I had the scholarship, the steady job, the paid bills. Caleb was the dreamer. That was the nice family word for it. He started businesses that lasted 6 weeks, borrowed money, and called it investing in himself. Somehow, the solution was always for the family to rally. And by family, they usually meant me. 3 years ago, I bought my townhouse. Not a mansion. A 2-bedroom place with a small patio, old hardwood floors, and a kitchen I fixed slowly. I put down $38,000. Closing costs were another $14,700. My parents contributed $0. They did not help with the inspection, the move, or the $4,200 HVAC repair that hit me 2 months after closing. But the second I had equity, suddenly my house became a family resource. The first hint came at Sunday dinner at a diner called Willow Table. My dad had a folder beside his plate. That alone should have warned me. My mom kept smiling too hard. Caleb would not look at me. After the waitress brought coffee, my dad opened the folder and slid a stack of papers across the table. I saw the words quitclaim deed before I even touched them. I asked what this was. My dad said, "Family helps family, Ava." Caleb has a real opportunity this time. Real opportunity meant Caleb wanted to buy into a small contracting business with 2 guys he met through a gym friend. He needed cash. He could not get approved for a loan because his credit was wrecked. My parents had already drained most of their savings helping him with previous real opportunities. So now the plan was simple, according to them. I would sign my townhouse over to my parents temporarily. They would use it as collateral to secure a business loan for Caleb. Then once the business was profitable, they would sign it back, temporarily. Like a house is a sweater. I asked who wrote up the papers. My dad said a notary friend from his church helped. My mom jumped in and said, "It is just paperwork. Nobody is taking anything from you." I looked at Caleb. He said, "Don't make it weird. It is not like you have kids." That was the moment something in me cooled completely. I asked how much they wanted to borrow against my home. My dad hesitated. My mom looked at the sugar packets. Caleb muttered around $75,000. Against the house I bought a loan. I said no. My dad's face tightened. He said, "We are not asking you to give anything away. We are asking you to trust your family." I said, "You are asking me to risk my home for Caleb's next idea." My mom started crying quietly, the kind of crying she used when she wanted everyone at the table to lower their voice and feel guilty. She said, "After everything we sacrificed for you." That line used to work on me, not anymore. I pushed the papers back. My dad leaned forward and said the quote I will never forget, "Family helps family, so sign the house over." I said, "Family also hears no." Then I put $40 on the table for my meal, stood up and left. I did not yell. I did not explain again. I did not sit there and negotiate my own financial ruin over diner coffee. By the time I got home, my phone had 14 messages. Caleb called me selfish. My mom sent 3 paragraphs about how scared she was for him. My dad sent 1 sentence. "Think carefully before you choose a house over your family." I stared at that text for a long time. Then I took screenshots of everything, emailed them to myself, and called a real estate attorney the next morning. That call cost me $275 for a consultation. Best money I spent all year. She told me not to sign anything, not to discuss terms by phone, and to freeze my credit. She also told me that if anyone showed up with documents, I should not open the door, so I froze my credit, changed the garage keypad, ordered 2 extra cameras for the front and back entrances. Then I sent one message to the family group chat. I am not signing over my home, co-signing a loan, opening a credit line, or discussing my property again. Do not bring papers to my house. Caleb sent a laughing emoji. My dad wrote, "We will talk in person." I replied, "No, we will not." Then I muted the chat and slept better than I expected. Update 1. 4 days later, my dad came to my porch with a notary. I wish I were exaggerating. It was 6:18 p.m. on Thursday. I was eating leftover pasta in sweatpants when my doorbell camera pinged. There stood Kevin in his church jacket, Linda with red eyes, Caleb pacing behind them, and a woman I recognized from my parents' neighborhood 4th of July cookout holding a leather folder. A notary on my porch at dinner time. My dad rang the bell twice. Then he knocked like he was the police. I spoke through the camera. "What are you doing here?" My mom stepped toward the door and put her hand on her chest. "Honey, please open up. We are not here to fight." My dad held up the folder. "We are here to finish this like adults." I said, "Adults listen when someone says no." Caleb snapped, "It takes 5 minutes. You are making everyone come all the way out here for no reason." I said, "You came for no reason." The notary looked uncomfortable. "Good, she should have been." My dad lowered his voice. "Ava, open this door right now." I said, "No, leave my property." My mom started crying, not quiet crying this time, full porch performance. She said, "I cannot believe my own daughter would do this to us. Your brother could lose everything." I said, "He cannot lose my house because he never had it." Then I ended the camera audio and called the non-emergency police line. I told them my family was on my porch refusing to leave and trying to pressure me into signing property documents. While I was on the phone, Caleb spotted the camera and stared straight into it. He said, "You are going to regret this." Beautiful. Thank you, Caleb. When the officer arrived 12 minutes later, my parents became church picnic people again. Soft voices, concerned faces. My dad called it a family misunderstanding. My mom said I was under stress. Caleb said I was dramatic. I stepped outside only after the officer told them to move back from the door. I had printed the texts. I handed him the folder screenshot my dad sent, the group chat where I said not to come, and the live camera clip of Caleb saying I would regret this. The officer looked at my dad and said, "She has asked you to leave. If you return without permission, this becomes a trespass issue." My dad looked embarrassed for the first time. Not sorry, embarrassed. After they left, the first flying monkey arrived within an hour. My Aunt Denise texted, "Your mother is sobbing. Could you just talk to them?" I sent her 3 screenshots and the doorbell clip. She called me 5 minutes later and said, "Oh, absolutely not. I did not know they were trying to put your house on paper." Then she did something I did not expect. She called my mom. Whatever she said must have been nuclear because my mom stopped texting for 2 whole days. My dad did not. He sent one message the next morning. "You humiliated me in front of a friend." I replied, "You brought a notary to my porch after I said no." He wrote, "That is not how a daughter treats her father." I wrote, "That is not how a father protects his daughter." Then I blocked him for the weekend. That same week, something good happened. At work, my manager at Oakline Logistics asked me to lead a warehouse software rollout I had been quietly preparing for months. This time, I turned my phone off during meetings and did my job. By Friday, I had a promotion path in writing. My family was still trying to get into my house. I was building a life inside it. Update 2, 3 weeks later, Caleb changed the story. That was predictable. When pressure failed, he moved to reputation damage. A cousin named Tyler messaged me on Instagram. He said, "I do not want to get involved, but Caleb is saying you promised the house thing months ago and backed out after he paid application fees." I almost laughed. Promised. Months ago. Application fees. I asked Tyler if Caleb had shown him proof. Tyler said no, just that everyone knew I was helping. Everyone knew. The official language of people with no receipts. I sent Tyler the original text where I said no at the diner, the group chat where I said I would never sign, and the Porch video. He replied, "Wow." He left out a lot. Then came my mom's medical crisis. At 1042 on a Tuesday night, Linda texted from a number I did not recognize. "Your father is having chest pains because of what you are doing. I hope the house keeps you warm when you have no parents." My stomach dropped for about 2 seconds. Then I remembered something important. My mom had used emergencies before. Headaches when I had plans. Dizzy spells when Caleb was in trouble. I called my Aunt Denise, not my mom. Denise drove over there. 20 minutes later, she called me from their kitchen, furious. "Your father is watching basketball and eating pretzels. He is fine." I saved the text. The next morning, I sent my mother one email. "Do not contact me with false medical claims again. If there is a real emergency, call 911. She replied, "You have become cold." No, I had become accurate. Then Caleb escalated at my job. He called the front desk at Oakline Logistics and said he was my brother and there was a family emergency. Reception transferred him to my office because, technically, he was family. I picked up and heard him say, "You need to stop acting like you are better than us." I hung up. Then he emailed my work address. Subject line, "Emergency family matter." Body, "Ava is refusing to help resolve a serious financial situation affecting our parents." I forwarded it to HR and my manager. I explained in one paragraph that my family was harassing me over my home and that I did not want personal calls routed to me. My manager, Renee, did not blink. She said, "We will handle it." Security was given their names. Reception was told no family calls. That afternoon, I called the attorney again. She drafted a cease and desist letter to my parents and Caleb for $650. It said they were not to contact me about my home, come to my property, contact my workplace, or send third parties to pressure me about financial documents. Certified mail, 3 copies. My dad signed for his on Friday. By Saturday morning, my grandmother Ruth called me. She is 84, sharper than all of us, and still somehow knows every family secret before it becomes public. I braced myself. I thought she was calling to tell me to forgive. Instead, she said, "Your daddy has lost his mind." I sat down on the stairs. She said, "I heard about the papers. Do not you sign one blessed thing. Your house is your house." I almost cried. She told me my parents had remortgaged their own place twice for Caleb and were panicking because a lender finally said no. She also said my dad told people I volunteered my townhouse months earlier. There it was, the lie with a calendar attached. Grandma Ruth told him if Ava offered, show the proof. He had none. After the cease and desist arrived, my parents went silent for 11 days. Caleb did not. He made a post about greedy people who forget where they come from. No names, but everyone knew. I did not respond. Instead, I painted my downstairs bathroom sage green, installed the floating shelves I bought 6 months ago, and accepted the project lead role at work. It came with a $7,500 raise. Caleb was posting quotes. I was increasing my income. Final update. 2 months later, 2 months after the diner, Caleb showed up one last time. It was a Saturday morning. I was drinking coffee on the patio when the back camera pinged. Caleb was at my side gate holding a cardboard box. He had never used the side gate before. That told me everything. I opened the camera app and said, "Leave." He held up the box. "Mom wanted you to have your childhood stuff before she throws it away." Classic. A sentimental hostage exchange. I said, "Put it by the gate and leave." He said, "Are you really going to make me stand outside like a stranger?" I said, "You are standing outside because you threatened me on camera." He smirked. "That is not a threat." I said, "Police can decide." He left the box and kicked the bottom step on his way out. Another little gift for the camera. Inside the box were old school photos, 2 cracked mugs, a sweatshirt that was not mine, and an envelope with a handwritten letter from my mom. 3 pages. It started with how she missed me. shifted into how family money is complicated, then said Caleb lost the business opportunity because of my refusal and she hoped I could live with that. I could. I scanned the letter and sent it to my attorney. 2 days later, my attorney sent a stronger letter warning that further contact, direct or indirect, would lead to a harassment complaint and a civil trespass notice. The attorney also included a line about fraudulent attempts to pressure a homeowner into signing property documents. That line did something the emotional conversations never did. It scared my dad. He emailed once, just once. "We will respect your wishes, not sorry, not we were wrong, just we will respect your wishes." Fine, I did not need poetry, I needed distance. A week later, Aunt Denise told me the business deal Caleb was chasing had collapsed before the diner. One of the partners had already backed out. The loan was not even guaranteed. They were trying to use my house to rescue a plan that was already falling apart. That knowledge made me angry for about 1 hour. Then it made me free, because it proved what I already knew. It was never about family helping family. It was about finding the last stable person in the room and trying to turn her stability into everyone else's emergency fund. I spent the next month doing boring, peaceful things. I replaced the patio light. I refinanced nothing. I signed nothing. I learned to sit in my living room without checking my phone every time it buzzed. Work got better. The software rollout went smoothly enough that Renee nominated me for operations supervisor. I did not tell my parents. Old Ava would have called them, hoping they would be proud. New Ava bought herself dinner and sent Grandma Ruth a picture of dessert. She replied, "Proud of you. Keep your deed in a safe place." I laughed for 5 minutes. As of now, I have not spoken to my parents in 7 weeks. Caleb is blocked everywhere. My credit is still frozen. My deed is secure. My cameras stay on. My home is quiet. Sometimes I miss the idea of my family, not the reality. The idea. The Sunday dinners without legal documents. The parents I thought would protect me before they protected Caleb from consequences. But missing something does not mean you reopen the door. My parents raised me to be responsible. Then they were shocked when I became responsible with my own life. They taught me to work hard, pay bills, keep promises, and protect what I built. I finally did exactly that, just not in the direction they wanted. Family can ask. Family can struggle. Family can need help. But family does not get to turn your home into collateral and call your refusal betrayal. The day I said no, I thought I was losing my family. 2 months later, I realized I was keeping myself. If you have ever faced something similar with your parents or family, comment below and tell me what you think. Did I handle it right, or did I go too far? Please subscribe, like, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it.